Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. How y'all doing today? I'm making this on a Friday just before noon. It'll probably be out on Saturday and the weekend's here. So get out there, have some fun, enjoy your weekend, love your family. I was watching a video a couple of nights ago and it was the subject of it was people judging non-vegans. And it got me to thinking. It really provoked some thought. This was like about an hour before bed, and I've got my notes, a few notes with me. I've started doing this. I've started taking my notebook to bed with me at night because somehow that last hour before I go to sleep at night is a very creative time. I come up with ideas. I just come up with lots of things to write down, thoughts. Some of them don't go anywhere. Sometimes I write stuff at night and then by the morning I'm like, nah, it just seemed more interesting last night, or it seemed more thought-provoking last night. But this one kind of stuck with me and I thought about it yesterday. And I thought I would do a video on it today. And it's about, do you judge non-vegans? And I think this could also extend, I think to some extent we all judge. We like to say, oh, we don't judge, but yeah, we all judge within our minds, even if it's for that briefest of seconds. So I think there's a lot of importance there too, not to be too harsh if we just have a judgment, as long as we're not acting upon this judgment or being nasty based on this judgment. I mean, you know, judgments pop up. We can let them go just as quick as they pop up. I mean, I find myself being judgmental, but I haven't said anything yet sometimes. And I catch my behavior and I catch my thought and I say, well, that's not really for me to judge or whatever. And I move on. Now for me, okay, I'll just answer the question for myself. I was thinking about it. I'm probably when I first got into this lifestyle, and once again, I've never been a preacher. I've never went through that phase where I went up to people, oh, you shouldn't be eating that. Oh, that's bad. But in my mind, when I first got into this lifestyle, I probably was a little bit more judgmental. Not in a bad way, like, oh God, look at that stupid person and what they're eating. Just like, wow, can somebody really eat that? It was just kind of the awe factor of all of a sudden being awakened to this new lifestyle and just being like, wow, doesn't everybody know about this? But of course they don't. And I came over the course of these last 2.5 years to view people like, you know, the numbers are what they are. There's not that many vegans in the world, and you're going to run into them every day. And basically, come on, I'm going to guess that like 99% of you are in the same boat as me, and that you're around. You might be the only vegan in your everyday life, as I am. So you're going to be around a lot of non-vegans. Now, the ones that I do find that I tend to judge a little bit, but I still won't do it. It's more of, it brings me a little bit of a sadness. I do tend to judge and once again, think about, somebody's going to pick up and just say, get on that word judge. I mean, it's just like the word prejudice. People say, I'm not prejudiced. Of course you are. Everybody out there is prejudiced. It just means we prejudge things in our minds. Now, it's all about our actions, though. You know, we don't act on those, or we don't discriminate based on those. But I suppose I do judge ex-vegans, but it's not so much like I have any hate or anything for them other than love. It's just I feel kind of sad, like, okay, I guess you were a vegan for health benefits completely and you never got the ethical thing. Which is why I tell people to look in, you know, no matter what your reason for being vegan, I tell people to look into the ethical part of it. I tell people to look into what our planet could be without consuming animal products. Don't make it totally about what can me get out of being vegan. Because what it does is it's kind of a double whammy. If you look into the ethical veganism and you understand and you come to believe in that also, well, you have a backup on the health part of it. You have another reason not to go, you know, not to be an ex-vegan. So, yeah, I just always feel a little bit sad for people that are ex-vegans, and usually they rationalize. They didn't take care of their diet like they should, because as vegans we have to, you know, make sure we're getting plenty of everything we need to get. One thing though I do want to mention, and I'm very judgmental of, and I'm not down with whatsoever. I'm not down with this this wing of angry, judgmental, hateful, know-it-all vegans. The ones that jump on people in the forums, that jump on people's videos, that tell them what it means to be vegan and preach who is vegan and who has this knowledge. I am not down with that with all. I want nothing to do with those people. I want none of their energy. I don't need to network with them until they come with a different attitude and more of a loving attitude. Yeah, I don't have anything for them, because contrary to what they think, these hardcore vegans that are just talking about, oh, well, I just have to preach my truth for the animal rights. No, you're not. You're preaching your truth for your ego. I got an email a couple of days ago from somebody, and we've been corresponding a little bit, and they were asking me about going out in social situations and how to handle it and how to take stuff with you, or to downplay it and not be that vegan freak at the place. Well, my friend, we wrote back a few times, and they wrote me back and told me they went to a gathering, everything was going well, they were all strong, ready to go, and they were eating, picking around on the veggies, like the carrots and the celery and what was good, and a vegan came up to them and confronted them and said, oh, it's good to see another vegan here, and got all enthused about the vegan thing. And this friend just commented, because not really into the label thing, like, well, I just like to prefer to say that I eat a whole food plant-based diet. And the vegan kind of, I can't remember all the details, but kind of went off on this person. Like, well, if you won't take the label, or if you won't accept being a vegan, you might as well eat animal products. I'll use some strong language. How stupid is that? And that is ego. That's the vegan having an ego. That is not the vegan having a love or caring about animal rights. Because why would we want? Okay, let's say I'm a vegan. I don't eat. As far as I know, I don't eat any animal products. I don't even do honey. I know people have a lot of the argument back and forth, well, I'm vegan, but I do honey. Well, you're not vegan if you do honey. I decided a long time ago, honey's not that big of a deal for me, and I was going to be vegan. I don't really judge anybody. I don't have any ethical restraints on that. That's me. But I see these people over little nitpicking detail, the hardcore vegan jumping on people in different places. And okay, what if that person just says, okay, screw this attitude, I'm just not going to be vegan at all. Okay, what if they're being, okay, wouldn't you say it's better, let's just put a number on it. Let's say the person that's almost all vegan maybe is consuming 3.2 units of animal product per year. I'm just putting a random number just to scale, 3.2. Whereas the average person is having 89.4. So you see how much that's reduced. Okay, this person is okay, they may not be technically 100% vegan, but do you see how much less animal products they're using? So you're telling me you would just prefer they use it all, go all the way and use the 89 point whatever, and I'm just using an arbitrary number for comparison, but you would prefer they just eat animals all the time than not being a full-on vegan. Now, I want somebody to explain that logic to me. I'm not the quickest person in the world, but I'm pretty sure you can't explain that. Anyhow, I think the message should be is we just need to be less judgmental. No matter what we think, even when we're right, even if somehow we do know, and a lot of times there's very few situations where we can know unequivocally that we are right, is very, very, very seldom. So, take that into consideration. Be nice to people. Yeah, it's about being nice to the animals. It's about treating other people. We are animals too. It's about us all treating. I don't want any of this stuff. I like equal rights and justice for everybody. So back in the day, it was the civil rights movement. Before that, it was women. Now, I'd like to see animals get on a little bit more equal footing with us humans. But the humans are still there. But we don't need to be nasty to people for any reason. We need to love and accept people where they are, because even from the hardcore vegan standpoint, you attract more flies with honey than vinegar. Sorry about the pun there on the honey, but you do. If you beat people over the head with something, you're very seldom going to get them to even listen to your message, much less to accept your message. And one last little thought I have, and then that's going to be it. This was right at the very end. I was making these notes. one thing I'm not a big fan of, and I will hold them to a higher standard, and I will be a little bit more judgmental. So if I'm being hypocritical or if I'm going back and forth, that's just me. I'm fluid. My thoughts are fluid. But your gurus, once again, I pay a lot of attention sometimes. Like I get somebody on my watch list, and I just like watch their words. I go back through a lot of their videos. I see their patterns. I see what they're doing because I want to know where they're coming from. I like to profile people. I like to profile them and seeing if they're like politicians. You know, most politicians are sociopaths. And a lot of people that have aspirations to be leaders and aspirations to have lots of followers, sociopaths too. So I look out for sociopaths, but these aren't really sociopaths. But I also look out for the ones that I just don't line up with at all, even if I line up with them on health issues. And the ones, I wrote this down the other night, and this just about puts it as succinctly as I can put it. I'm not a fan of the gurus who are all about the health aspect, but make disparaging remarks about animal rights. And look for that. I've seen a few of I'm never going to name names on here. I'm not one of those to get into that, but I've seen quite a few of your gurus, your big names in this raw food, raw vegan movement, that come right out and say they don't really care much about the animal rights issue or ethical veganism. It's all about the health, all about the humans. And I don't hate them either. I mean, you know, like I say, I don't hate anybody, but this old brain tends to remember. That gets seared in my brain. When I hear that comment, I've almost turned them off. I know I've told you guys before, I don't turn off any source of information, but I put a big filter on whenever I hear this. Because I look at it like this. And this is exactly what I wrote down, because I like to write at night. I get a little bit more of my true thoughts down. And the last finishing thought I had about the guru thing there was, let's just say some of the love and light folks don't believe love and light extends to the animals. And it does. You know, we're sharing this planet with them. And I come more and more, like, I think I'm progressing more in the ethical aspect of being vegan than I am in the health, because I just or maybe I just have more to go on that. I just keep becoming more and more aware of how we're all sharing this planet, and we don't have not one bit more right to what we do on this planet than any other species. Anyway, that was just my, every once in a while I do these videos that aren't so much about the eating and the health, and just relates a little bit to my feelings on veganism. I don't try to follow anybody. I don't try to be approved by any of the vegan sources out there, but I do care, and it's an important issue for me. Thank you guys for watching today. We're heading into the weekend. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope you have a little bit of sun where you are. Maybe I'll do a sun video for the cold and gray areas out there. But anyhow, thanks for tuning in again this week, and I love you guys. Peace.